So it is really bad weather. There's a typhoon hitting Philippines up north near Manila. And so we're getting the waves and the wind and stuff and the rain. But right now it stopped raining, and you know what? It's octopus season, or I should say cephalopod season. So we gotta go as much as possible, get as much footage as we can. And I'd really like to find a blue ring octopus. That's what I'm gonna kind of go for. I saw a lot of Wunderpus last year, and I don't have a lot of great blue ring footage, but you never know. Last year at this dive site where we're going now, we saw a lot of octopus and cuttlefish and everything else of every, like, multiple species. So who knows what we're gonna see. Where we're going is called Bonnet's Corner. I believe we already went to that one on this series, but it is not my favorite during the off season. There's nothing there to see. There's a lot of current, but during octopus season it's just absolutely full of octopus, so we gotta go. We do have some divers here today. We got 2 guests today from Denmark, so huge shout out to them. I'm sure they're watching this, or at least when they get home they will. As well as 1 guest from Thailand, 1 guest from the UK, and 1 guest from Switzerland. So they're all out with the dive masters in the trucks, doing shore dives at different sites that we have. All the boats are grounded by the Coast Guard, so they're at different little sites right now, hopefully seeing some cool stuff, but we need to get in the water. Me, Judea, and Wakong, our dive master, are gonna go try to find these octopus. I got the Ace Pro 2. I don't know if you guys saw my last video where we're unboxing and testing out the Ace Pro 2. It's like the newest action cam from Insta360. Love this thing. I'm gonna put it in the housing and let my dive master, whoever, do a little bit of filming for that, with that, while I'm filming with my big camera. So this week, well, this month, I am still diving with my X-Deep harness and backplate, Beastity, but pretty soon, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 months, I got a big announcement, big things happening. I'll be working with a major gear brand. Hopefully right after DEMA, they can start shipping me everything. And we're gonna be doing a lot of gear configurations, me and Judea, with some different gear. Start working with some big brands. I'm not gonna give away too much, but I'm really excited for that to happen at the beginning of the year. Anyways, this dive site, you have to go pretty early to see the octopus still. So no more talking, let's just get straight into the water. These little guys are everywhere in the sands around Darwin, but as common as they are, I still had to look up the species name. Also super common are these feathered sea stars and all of their little inhabitants. I am always fascinated how these squat lobsters develop perfect camouflage to match the sea star, whatever color it may be, as well as crinoid shrimps you'll find there as well. It's crazy to think how 2 totally different species can develop such perfect camo to mimic another species and be virtually invisible to predators. And they spend their entire lives just wandering the seafloor on top of their host. They are definitely good subjects for underwater photographers. This dive site has an exorbitant amount of crustaceans, such as this hermit crab posing for the camera. I've said this before on other dives, and I'll say it again. The flamboyant cuttlefish is among my favorite species in the seas. From what I hear, they're also on the bucket list of many other divers, but I'll tell you a story about my first encounter. Back in 2019, I'd been diving a while around the Philippines, and one of the top critters on my species bucket list was the flamboyant cuttlefish. However, as luck would have it, I was unable to see them as of yet after trips to El Nido, Coron, Malapascua, and many other locations around the country. That's when we met Alec, our very first dive master and guide, and now longtime friend. I told him that I really wanted to see a flamboyant, so that very first day, he knew right where to go, and we saw not one, but three. I saw Judea off in the distance filming something, and when I went to investigate, I saw that it was another cephalopod, this time a Broadclub cuttlefish. Besides their color patterns, the fierce thing to note is that these guys prefer to hover and swim around, as opposed to the flamboyant, who likes to walk around the seafloor. Flamboyants are toxic in nature to predators, and are not afraid to flash bright colors to indicate as such, but this species of cuttlefish must taste like a nice calamari, because they seem to prefer to use their color changing adaptation for camouflage. So this is October, which is the start of cephalopod season here in Darwin, and this particular dive site has a huge variety of octopus, cuttlefish, and squids, but possibly the most common here are these Broadclub cuttles. On some dives, I will see 20 of them at around 5 meters among the stones, and any time that we see one, there's almost always at least one other close by. Now I know that my primary hope for this dive was to film a blue ring octopus, but did you really think I would pass up filming a Wunderpus that we found? Impossible. This is an extraordinary octopus species famed for its distinct, mesmerizing patterns and camouflage abilities native to the shallow waters of Southeast Asia. This octopus has long, slender arms and a reddish-brown body marked with white spots and bands that can shift for camouflage or to communicate with others. There for a while, the Wunderpus was confused for a mimic octopus until they finally classified them as two separate species. The Wunderpus uses its flexible body and excellent mimicry to blend into the sandy or muddy ocean floors, avoiding predators and ambushing prey. Every time I see one of these guys, I am always amazed at how small they really are. This is one of the biggest I've seen, yet if he sat in my palm, he would have a hard time wrapping his legs all the way around my hand completely. Here's a close-up of one of his legs and its suckers, and if you look close, you'll notice the tiny ink pigments in the skin that allow him to change color. We saw 3 Wunderpus on this dive, and although we didn't find the blue ring like I had hoped, you could never be disappointed when face to face with any octopus, not to mention the 2 flamboyants and all the other cuttlefish we found. So all in all, I'd call this dive a success.
Wunderpus.
Wunderpussy.